This week looks like it's all about our connections, our relationships with others, and how they're going. So there's quite a lot showing up in that area for this week's Pick a Card Tarot reading. Hi and welcome back. This week looks like a pretty amazing week. There's a lot of around connections and how they're working and how they're changing. So that can be our personal relationships, our love relationships, family, even at work. All of those connections are relationships and people we deal with on a daily basis. Basically, it's not a random stranger you bump into, but more people you actually have connections with. So it looks like a pretty incredible week of things really working their way through. So, yeah, as we look at row 1, we've got the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is all about unity and wanting to work with others, wanting to connect with others, wanting to do things with others, and wanting to have fun with others. So Monday and Tuesday are very, very good for that. So enjoy it. It looks like pretty straightforward, simple, enjoyable times with people. And yeah, some genuine people, real people, kind people, people who care about your well-being. But by Wednesday and Thursday, there's somebody going to trigger you, and that's Five of Swords. We've got somebody who's unfair, unjust, maybe a little bit of a bully, control freak, something like that, that's showing up around you. And it doesn't have to be too intense. It can be somebody at work or somebody in your neighborhood. It doesn't have to be your partner or family member or friend. It can be somebody who lives around you or works around you. But just pay attention to that. If somebody likes trying to tell you what to do, if somebody wants to control what you do and things like that, be very, very wary and trust your instincts. Usually our instincts, our intuition try to warn us when somebody's trying to pull things like that. And often we go, oh, well, never mind, and rationalize it away. But in this instance, it's saying, yes, listen to how you feel around that person. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel good? Do you feel free to be yourself? And that is the key factor. It's also about empowerment for you. There will be a little bit of a test of saying, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I'm quite happy with how I'm doing things. And yeah, so you will come through that. So by Friday, Saturday and Sunday, we've got the Seven of Cups. I keep having to check because when I actually do tarot readings, I don't think about what they're called ever. It's a bit like driving. When you first learn to drive, you think about it and you go, okay, I need to go into third gear now and I have to push the clutch in and so forth. Whereas after you've been driving for a few years, you don't think about it, you just do it. It's the same with tarot. You don't go, oh gosh, look, there's the Seven of Cups. You just take what you get from it, and especially being an intuitive reader, you're not putting it all back into those frameworks, of what it's called. So forgive me if I have to sometimes jog my memory because I just don't use the names apart from in these videos. Okay, so that's about a little bit of thinking, dreams, ideas, concepts. It's a great weekend for doing a bit of daydreaming, thinking about what you'd like in your life, allowing yourself to imagine how you would like to live, how you would love your life to be, and giving yourself some time for that. And you don't have to, sit on your couch all weekend to do that. That can happen while you're gardening or walking or just something not too stimulating. It can also show a little bit of dissatisfaction with something that you thought was going to be really great and maybe it's not quite hitting the mark. It's okay to pull back and reevaluate. Just because you decided to do something doesn't mean you have to keep doing it if you don't like it. So make sure you're really in tune with what you're doing with your life. And the weekend will end up really productive, but it's definitely, there's a lot of thinking going on over the weekend for row ones. Lots of sort of, discerning, thinking, mulling things over, daydreaming a bit. Those sort of energies are very much to the forefront with the Seven of Cups. So as we look at row 2, we start off Monday and Tuesday with the Hermit. That's about also taking some time for yourself. It's not about being a hermit as such. You don't have to be, isolate yourself. It's just about trusting your inner voice more than what other people around you are saying, listening to your own inner guidance, trusting your own wisdom. The hermit is somebody who's taken time out from hectic life to find his own truth, his own inner reality, his own answers. So yeah, take some time out to do that. If you're working during the day, take some time out in the evening just to sort of chill, and you'll come up with what you need to know. Your wisdom is there. It's not something only some people have. Everybody has it. We just need to kind of make time for it and allow it space, and we start to hear it. So very good time for finding some answers of your own on Monday and Tuesday, and trust those. So that's really important. So on Wednesday and Thursday we've got the Three of Pentacles, which is all about teamwork, connecting with others, so much more social by the midweek. And you'll be happy to work with others. It seems to be very cooperative, focusing on a goal together with other people, and that can be at work or your partner or your family, something you're all wanting to get done, and that you're going to be able to work at your best ability together. Very, very good for cooperation, communication, and things like that. So it's showing closeness and common goals. And in a relationship, in a love relationship, that would mean you're on the same page with what you want out of life. And that certainly helps. If one wants lots of money and the other one really isn't interested in money, sometimes they can cause problems in a relationship, but this is saying you're on the same page. So talk about what you want, make sure you're communicating so that the other person knows. At work, it can mean that you're working with others together really well, and that's going to be noticed by people in charge. Teamwork's a pretty important factor in a lot of jobs, so you're doing really well. Friday, Saturday and Sunday we've got the Two of Cups, which is lovely. It's a great time for commitment in relationship. It's not about a mad fling with a stranger. It's about real connection, real commitment, real depth of a relationship, and the potential that it has, and just being really, really well suited. So if you're single, you might meet somebody like that. If you're in a relationship, it's a good time to spend some time together this weekend, just to keep that connection strong, so that you don't sort of end up drifting apart and just so busy you don't have time together. If it's not a relationship, it's your commitment to your own path. Very much about commitment and direct drive to go for what you want. So absolutely awesome. It's just a very clear week for you for road 2s. You're very clear. You look inside, you find your answers, and after that everything seems to be really on a good path for you. So very, very nice. For row 3s, we've got the Four of Pentacles, which is talking about boundaries. Making sure you don't let people walk all over you or take up more of your time than you can afford to give them. We all have a person in our lives now and then that just is kind of draining and exhausting and has lots of problems, and they never change and it never transforms, and they can become quite exhausting. I had that once with a woman I knew years ago, and we pretty much had the same conversation every time, and years later, after I'd moved away, I ran into her, and within 5 minutes it was the same conversation about her problems. And I was thinking, wow, okay, that's interesting. You don't have to be mean to people like that, but it's also okay to not give them all day. Set a limit, set some time limits, say you have to be somewhere, or detach yourself somehow from people like that, because they can be very, very exhausting. it's okay to do that. It empowers them to maybe find their own answers too, which is not a bad thing. It's also saying don't go splooging too much financially. You know, don't go overboard with it. It doesn't mean depriving yourself, but just, yeah, don't go on some instinctual shopping binge because you're not feeling very happy. Now's the time to actually just accumulate some funds for later on for some reason. So by Wednesday and Thursday, yeah, you're feeling pretty good because you resisted the urge to splurge. You know, finances are looking good. You're feeling pretty happy with that. You're also happy with your environment, your home, the space you live in. It's a good time just to enjoy what you have. It's all about gratitude and being thankful for all the good things you have in your life. And as far as spiritually the law of attraction is concerned, gratitude, yeah, is very, very helpful when you're trying to attract something in your life. If you're not grateful for what you already have, you won't attract good things as easily, the things that you're wanting to, because you're living in a consciousness of lack, of not having, you know. Whereas if you're acknowledging that you do have a warm home, you do have a roof over your head, you do have food in your cupboards, whatever it is, you have maybe a car to get to work or a nice job or whatever it is, appreciate it, be grateful, because it will bring you more good. So wonderful. By Friday, Saturday and Sunday, we've got the Page of Pentacles, which is all about curiosity and learning. So the weekend's going to be one, yeah, where you're discovering something, you're learning something new, exploring something new. Take yourself somewhere where you're going to be exposed to something interesting, something, yeah, that takes you out of your normal sort of routine a bit. Go to an event or something that you might not have ever gone to, just to have a look, and you'll learn something, and you'll learn something valuable. So it's a wonderful time for that. If there's something you've been wanting to research or read about or learn about, the weekend is great. You're going to be in the right frame of mind to take in information and to learn. Or if you're studying, it's a wonderful weekend for study, but it's definitely about new learning and being curious about what's out there. So lots of fun with that one. The weekend certainly looks interesting and stimulating for row threes. So yeah, there's quite a bit going on this week around healthy relationships, boundaries, working together, connecting with people and feeling grateful for what you have. You know, it seems to be the time for that. So working with the energies is always an advantage. I mean, that's how readings really work. They show us opportunities of the energies that are around us and how we can use them to better our lives and make them more enjoyable and, yeah, to attract things we want to attract. So it looks like a fantastic week, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to be notified of any videos I put on YouTube. And lots of love to you, everyone. Lots of love. Hugs.